Imagine looking in the mirror and realizing that everything you call you, your tastes, your opinions, your choices, might not have actually been chosen by you. What if the image you show to the world is just a reflection of what others expected you to be? Jean-Paul Sartre once said that human beings are condemned to be free. Strong words, right? But what he meant wasn't that we're free in a light or carefree sense, it's that we're forced to be free. That there's no escape from the responsibility of choosing who we are. But here's the paradox. If we're free to be whoever we want, why do we spend so much time trying to fit in? Why do so many people live as if they're stuck in roles they never chose? Maybe it's because being free, truly free, is one of the most terrifying things in existence. So tell me, do you really know who you are? Or have you been pretending so well for so long that you've forgotten where the performance ends and your truth begins? From a young age, we're told how we should be. Be polite. Don't speak too loud. Dress like this. And we learn. We learn so well that one day we don't even realize we're acting anymore. Childhood becomes rehearsal. Adulthood, the stage, and then comes the uncomfortable question, who are you without the role you play? Sartre called this bad faith. When you lie to yourself to avoid facing your own freedom. It's when you convince yourself you have no choice, that you're just following the rules, but deep down, deep inside, you know you're hiding. Think about Sartre's classic example, the waiter who behaves as if he is only a waiter. Every gesture exaggerated, every word part of a script. He's not just serving coffee or people, he's playing the role of someone who serves coffee. He pretends that's all he is, because it's easier than accepting that he could be anything else. And we do this all the time. At work, in relationships, on social media. We build personas that seem nice, safe, acceptable. But in the process, we suffocate entire parts of who we really are. Being someone has become an illusion. And maybe the bravest thing you can do is start undoing that character. Being free is scary, because with freedom comes something many people avoid their entire lives: responsibility. Sartre said that when you choose, you're not just choosing for yourself. You're telling the world, this is what a human being can be. Heavy, right? Most people don't want to carry that weight. They prefer to go with the flow, to adopt the identity that feels easiest, most comfortable. That's why so many live inside a box, the job their parents would approve of, the behavior that avoids conflict, the relationship that seems stable even if it doesn't make sense, but that comfort is deceptive. Because every avoided choice, every outsourced decision slowly robs you of your authenticity. Until one day you wake up and ask, how did I end up here? The answer, almost always, is you followed a script you didn't write. You chose not to choose. And that, according to Sartre, is already a choice. Not deciding is deciding through inertia. Pretending you're only what others expect is living a comfortable lie. And the more you run from the responsibility of being free, the further you drift from yourself. Freedom is a gift, but also a burden. And only those who accept the weight truly discover what it means to live. Choosing who you truly are isn't a peaceful achievement. It's often a confrontation with everything you've ever been or thought you were, and that confrontation hurts. Sartre called it existential anguish, the emptiness that appears when you realize there's no manual, no clear path, no pre-written destiny. Only choices. And with every choice, a step in the creation of yourself. Authenticity means losing. Certain comforts, people will find it strange, bonds will break, situations will test you, because living your truth means saying no
to expectations that aren't yours, and that scares those still living under them. And here's the strange part, that anguish is a sign you're on the right path, because it appears exactly where illusion begins to crack, and real freedom starts to emerge. It's like stepping out of a dark room. The light hurts at first, but it's in that light that you finally see clearly. Thomas C. Anderson, a Sartre scholar, says this anguish shouldn't be avoided. It should be faced with courage, because that's where you find the fertile ground of authenticity, the soil where you can finally plant who you choose to be. And here lies the most beautiful paradox. Only when you face the anguish head-on do you discover the real taste of freedom. How many times have you hidden what you felt just to avoid conflict? How many opinions did you swallow to keep someone's approval? Over time, we create a character that smiles when sad, says yes when it means no, lives to be accepted. That character is a survival masterpiece. It helped you. It saved you in many moments, but now it might be holding you back. Because being loved for what you aren't isn't love, it's illusion. Sartre saw life in society as a stage play where everyone is performing, waiting for approval, recognition, applause. But living like that is exhausting, and the reward fragile. Because deep down, you know you weren't truly seen, and when the audience disappears, who's left on stage? The real you, the one even you might not recognize anymore, but they're still there. And they can be found again. But first, you need the courage to take off the mask, to disappoint a few people, to prioritize yourself. Authenticity comes with a price, but the cost of inauthenticity is much higher. Living your entire life being loved by someone who never truly knew you. And once you understand that, you begin to feel the urge to live more truthfully. Because being accepted for who you are, that's what real freedom is. There comes a point when the character you created begins to control you. It's no longer a disguise, or it becomes your skin. So natural, so automatic, you forget it was ever a choice. Like an actor who's been on stage so long, they can't remember who they were before. You find yourself repeating the same patterns, saying yes out of habit, avoiding conflict like it's a threat, suppressing desires that once burned inside you, but now feel distant. And the worst part, you don't even feel the pain of it anymore, because you got used to it. And routine is the most effective anesthetic against authenticity. Sartre would say this is the deepest trap of bad faith, when it stops feeling like a lie, when self-deception becomes so well built that it feels like truth. But there is an antidote, small, subtle, but powerful: discomfort. That restlessness that shows up when you're alone, the emptiness after a normal day, the whisper of doubt. Was this really it? Pay attention to those signs. They're cracks, openings where your essence tries to rise to the surface. You don't need to destroy everything. You don't have to change your life overnight. But you do need to stop and ask, does this role still fit me? Or am I suffocating inside it? Have you ever achieved what everyone said was ideal? A good job, a stable relationship, recognition, and still felt a deep emptiness, as if on the inside something just didn't fit? That's the clearest sign of a life lived outward, not inward. That emptiness isn't a lack of success, it's a lack of meaning. And meaning doesn't come from applause, it's built through alignment between who you are and how you live. Sartre said that existence precedes essence, meaning you're not born with a pre-written purpose or fixed identity. You build it. You choose it. And if you don't choose, you feel the void. People who live as characters are often praised, admired, even envied. But when they lie down at night, alone with their thoughts, they realize they've built a life they no longer fit into. It's success without flavor, fulfillment without belonging, presence without presence. That emptiness is an invitation. Yes, it hurts, but it also points the way. It screams that something needs to change, and that scream, when heard, can be the beginning of a new kind of life, one that's more real, more yours. Authenticity isn't comfortable, but it's light. It requires breakups, but brings peace. Because living truthfully means being loyal to how you feel. And that, no matter how hard, is the only cure for the emptiness of not being you. Breaking free from your role takes more than strength. It takes presence, clarity, a kind of honesty that only comes when you stop hiding, even from yourself. It's not easy. You might lose friendships, opportunities, safety, but you know what you gain: the chance to finally be whole. When you break free from the role that was imposed on you by family, society, or fear, you begin living as the author, not the character. You write your own script, you speak your own lines, you decide your scenes. Sartre reminds us we're not defined by labels, jobs, or memories. We're defined by what we do with what happens to us. So if life handed you a mask, take it off. If you were given a role that doesn't represent you, return it. You don't need to fit in, you need to express yourself. And true expression takes courage, not loud courage, quiet courage, the kind that shows up when you choose your truth, even when it might make others uncomfortable. A full life isn't made of applause, it's made of peace. And peace only comes when what you show the world is finally what you are inside. You made it this far. You read every word. You allowed yourself to feel. So now I ask you, with all respect, are you truly living your life, or just repeating a role? The biggest lie anyone can live is the one told to themselves, pretending everything is fine when it's not, pretending to be happy when you feel empty, pretending to be you when everything inside is begging to change. Sartre believed we are free, not because we want to be, but because there's no choice but to choose. And right now, as you listen, as you breathe, you're also choosing. Maybe it's time to stop pretending. Maybe it's time to remember who you were before they started telling you who you should be. So if something inside you woke up, if this journey touched you, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. Today I choose to be who I am, not who others expect me to be. Share this message with someone else who needs to find themselves again. And if you want to keep going deeper, watch the next video on your screen right now. It might change everything. You're not alone, and your truth, no matter how quiet, can still be heard. Thank you for being here with me. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, freedom begins when the performance ends.